they hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us slaves. I can feel the sunlight shining in.
Well, good morning and welcome to episode 871 of the Lots Project Morning Show, where the coffee is strong, the opinions are stronger, and everything is always filter free. I'm Brian, your host, and it's January 12th, 2026. This morning I'm enjoying a fresh cup of light Nicaraguan from foodforestfarms.com because life's too short for shitty coffee. At Food Forest Farms, your beans are roasted by real human hands using a clean stream air roaster. More than just a customer, your family. Get 10% off with code LOTS10, that's LOTS10, and shipping is always free. While you're there, check out the C4 Club for even more awesome perks. If you missed that C4 Club sale for the year-long sale discount, the end of the first of the year, you can still grab it. It's still an awesome deal. Brian's got the best prices on premium coffee around, so check out foodforestfarms.com. And if you need a little extra to try it out, get that 10% off with LOTS10. Today we got another full show, cabin build updates, a little bit done this weekend. I'll talk about that. A local Who-Dunnit that doesn't quite add up. Well, it adds up, but it's got some questions for me. Minnesota continues its impressive dumpster fire streak of 2025, 2026, and before for sure. And more propane regulator fun. Grab your coffee, smash the like button, and let's get started. Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? Mike's Homestead, thanks for stopping in. Good morning to you, sir. And Hunter over on Twitch, as always. Good morning. Good Mormon morning to you. Sticky fingers or autocorrect, Hunter, on the message this morning. Light Nicaraguan working well. Been a while since I had some light Nicaraguan from Brian at Food Forest Farms, and happy to open up a bag this month and enjoy it. Or this month, I guess I got several pounds this month in the mail, and Nicaraguan was one of them. But when I got to open the bag, it was pretty fantastic. So hope everybody's doing well. Chilly morning here. I was a little late getting the show started. I had the little cubic mini wood stove just rolling this morning. Got it fired up, and our eco fan just rattling. You probably heard it in the background of the show before, when it gets cold here and we have the when we have it rolling, the fan just started to rattle, and I think it's from off seasons of just sitting around, and when we were traveling, it not getting packed away. I think the blades are bent or off balance or something. And when it fires up and it gets warm, we know it's getting warm because the fan will kick on. I don't know if you've ever used one of those little eco fans. There's no batteries, there's no power. It just it turns the fan from the heat from the top of the stove. I think it's pretty cool, but recently it's been getting louder and louder. And I was sitting here getting ready for the show, and Corey's in the back with the her door shut and a little space heater on because I don't know, it's like 25 out this morning, so. Not really toasty by any means. And the fan was just rattling. I'm sitting here waiting to start the show, and I couldn't even think straight. I was like, well, that's going to be really nice in the background of the show, but I don't know. That StreamYard might cut that out. I don't know if you've ever been able to hear it, but man, it was extra loud this morning. So had to run and grab that and pull it off and put it on the stove, and might get a little chillier in here while it's not blowing the heat around from the stove, but well, at least I'll be able to think straight, or straighter than normal, I guess. Good morning, Real Wilder Life. Thanks for swinging in. Hunter's got swipe on, and his phone sucks. Good morning, Thomas H. Bates. You saw coffee in the thumbnail. What's this? It's my weekly morning show. I do it every Monday morning. Used to do it every day, every morning. Have reduced to Monday mornings, kick around for about an hour, talk about bullshit going on in the world, what's going on in my life. I'm in the middle of building an off-grid cabin and doing a bunch of other stuff. I'm anarchist minded Bitcoin focused person. So we look at all sorts of stuff going on. So glad you stopped in and hit that like and subscribe. That would be awesome. And stick around, hang out. We'll be talking about a bunch of different stuff here coming up. If you're into Bitcoin, we're just about to do the Bitcoin guessing game contest that we do every week. Each week we check the price right here at the beginning of the show, about 605, 608, somewhere around there. And over in the Telegram group, all week we guess to decide what the price is going to be and see who gets closest, and the winner gets an awesome prize. So last week, you can see my guess was $98,989. That's way off for sure. 607 on January 12th, 2026. Bitcoin price is 90,627. 90,627 is the price this week. 607 on January 12th, 2026. Let's get to the guesses over in Telegram chat. Over the week, like I said, 98,989 was my choice. Let's go from top to bottom, the furthest off to the closest. And man, it wasn't even close this week. Scrambling came in with a guess of 102,459. John Palmer, $100,001. Canadian Farm said 99,999. These guys were playing a little Prices Right. There was some sniping going on over there when the prices were getting picked earlier this week. Canadian Farm said, like I said, 99,999. Chris Dixon, 97,683. And Thesia snuck in under Chris Dixon. Think it's going to be a little lower than that, 97,500. Palm Tree was in at 95,000 even. And our winner this week, winner of the prize of absolutely nothing, bragging rights, I guess, over in the group. But Blueberry, Texas came in and sniped Palm Tree, put in a guess at 94,387 and turned out to be right. Closest as we could get was about 4,000 off, 90,627 this week. So congratulations, Blueberry. Thanks for putting your guess in. Everybody for putting their guess in over in the Telegram chat. And like I said, big old prize of winning nothing. I don't know what's going to happen this week. Stuff's getting kind of wonky in the world, definitely around the world with Iran and Venezuela, and definitely domestically with Minnesota and riots all over and weird silver shit going on. I don't know what's going to happen this week. So right now we're sitting 90,000. I'm going to go back to that pick I've been doing for quite a while. We're going to go 95,959. $95,959 is my guess. If you want to participate in the guessing game for next week, it will be January 19th, 2026. Head on over to the Telegram chat and find the pinned message. Make your guess, and we will go at it again next week. Bitcoin kind of on just a flat line lately. Not dead flat line, just not increasing. Up a little bit, down a little bit, and around and back to where it is. So anyway, that was Bitcoin guessing game for this week. Silver, let's check in on silver. Silver, I was looking last night. I popped on, and last night we're up to 84. Holy shit, 84.68 silver market this morning. Spot silver price 84.68. Guys, I don't know. There was a guy that was selling custom silver a ways back, and definitely in the positive if you pick those up when I was selling those. So silver on a tear. Do you have any silver? Do you stack silver? I might or might not have lost a bunch of silver in a boating accident a while back. So I wish I had some. So anyway, cabin update this week. Cabin update. It was a different week. So for 2 weeks, so not this past one, the 2 weeks prior, Corey had a ton of vacation, and so both of us were getting out and working together, getting a lot of work done. We were getting seeing a lot of progress. I kind of updated all of that last week over the holidays. what we had gotten done. Corey was back to work this past week, and so I was actually getting caught up with a lot of stuff that I pushed to the side. When she's off, we like to both A, spend our time together, and B, get as much done that requires two people that we can. So that puts everything on the back burner, anything on the computer. Like I'll go days. When Corey's on vacation, I'll go days without even turning my computer on. Everything that I need to do can be done from my phone. But a lot of the stuff, routine, ongoing stuff just needs to be done on the computer. It's all set up to be done there. And when we're going out to the property, when we're hanging out, when we're spending time together, I don't go off and fire up the computer and do things unless I absolutely have to. So I was able to just take that time and spend it with Corey. And then this past week got caught up with a bunch of stuff. If you check out the YouTube channel, I got 3 videos posted last week. One is my first solar video. I was over at some friend's house and checking out their solar array and the equipment in their garage. So if you check that out and give that a thumbs up and watch it, get the view time and maybe share it if you can. And other than that, I got a couple more product review videos that have been sitting around on the back burner. Some tin snips, which ironically a company randomly sent me, and I'm going to be able to use them quite a bit with the metal siding on the cabin and the trim and whatnot. A really nice pair of compound tin snips that I did a video on, and then a set of screwdriver bits. So I did make it out to the property a little bit. Did some filming on that. Did some other adjusting and got ready for the weekend. And then the weekend came, and so the cabin progress this weekend was very limited. It was a really rough weekend. It shouldn't have been. Looking at the weather forecast, it was supposed to rain significantly on Friday, overnight Friday, and into early Saturday morning. And really by 7-8 o'clock, it was supposed to be done. It was supposed to be cloudy and kind of nondescript on Saturday. Wasn't supposed to get real warm. The temperature wasn't supposed to change a whole lot from the morning, and then the temperature was supposed to start dropping overnight on Saturday into Sunday. But Sunday was supposed to be sunny and cooler, and so we were like, oh, we should be able to get some work done. We'll start a little later on Saturday, wait out the rain, let the road dry up a little bit, let the property dry up a little bit, because we just got mud around the cabin when it rains at the moment, because everything is just not finished. And so we waited it out. We waited out the rain. We walked the dogs. We headed out. We were out probably an hour to 2 later than we normally were. And we set some goals. We wanted to get the one side of the cabin, the other long side that we hadn't been working on. We wanted to get that rehouse wrapped and get the 2 windows in. That was the goal for Saturday. And then Sunday, we were hopefully going to start picking away at the door that we're having to mess around with. If you listened last week, the door issues and having to adjust on the fly. We're going to get back to doing the door. I think I figured out my spacers and started messing around with that a little bit. So that was going to be Sunday's project. We were going to kind of work on the door. And so Saturday we got going. I had the scaffolding. It definitely helps for sure. But we got working a little bit. We started taking out all the nails on the house wrap that was there, pulling that down. It was all tore up and from banging in the wind and everything. And we were going to get the new stuff up. And as we were working on it, it just starts like misting a little bit, just a little bit. It's just uncomfortable. You know, it's not raining. It's not really downpouring, but everything's getting wet. The wind starts blowing a little bit, and I'm like, well, what the fuck? It wasn't supposed to be like this. The rain was supposed to stop, and it was just supposed to be cloudy. And it just kept getting worse. It started raining more and more, and then it was actually raining. It wasn't misting anymore, and the water was, it was raining on the big metal roof, and we're working right on the edge of the roof. There's no gutters, so as it accumulates on the roof, it just starts pouring off the side. We're trying to work underneath it. It's raining all over our arms, on our heads, and I was like, we gotta stop. We gotta stop. So we took a little break and waited for it to stop raining, waited for the water to stop dripping off the roof, which was another delay. Because it started raining again, the whole side of the house that we were working on just turned into a mud hole and slippery as hell. If you've ever worked in muddy clay, you know what I'm talking about. Super hard underneath a layer of slop and snot and super slippery. Just a menace to move the scaffolding and work through it all. But we did. We ended up working through it. We accomplished half our goal. We were able to get the that side sealed back up with rain. Hopefully, not hopefully. Everything got a little damp, but it's still open on the inside, so it should dry out no problem. Probably did on the next day with a nice sun. But we got the house wrap done. We took off, and both of us were a little injured. Corey had tweaked her neck a little bit in the morning, and then moving the scaffolding around kind of just exacerbated. Is that the word? Big old word for a Monday morning. Made it a little worse. I also, when I was carrying the scaffolding, I slipped in the mud. Didn't fall down, but definitely tweaked my back and kind of re-irritated a foot issue I've been dealing with lately. So it was just a all around stellar day, working in the rain and the wind and injuries. But we got back up on Sunday morning and endured the chilly weather, headed on out, and we got our 2 windows installed. We had other stuff to do at home, so we called it a short day. We got the 2 windows done. So we accomplished kind of what we wanted to. We wanted to start picking away at the door. But things happen, and the weather we can't control, and just working conditions is something that we don't have any control over. So we got the one side back done. Now we're waiting on getting a couple doors in, and we're trying to decide if we want to put some steps up before we do that, after we do that. And then we'll work on the 2 ends, because I still have to do a little bit of framing on the ends and secure some things up before we want to throw the windows in on the end walls. But getting closer. We got 4 windows done. Doors are in the works, and then we got 6 more windows to go on the 2 between the 2 ends, and then we'll be ready to start trimming out, get purlins on or girts on, start trimming out, and get the metal siding on. And once the metal siding's on, Corey and I were talking about this, is like working inside, having a place to work inside and things to progress on inside when the weather's shitty, and also stuff outside to work on when it's nice out, will be a way different. But right now it's either we work in the crappy weather or we don't get anything done. So nice mix of getting stuff done and not being super miserable for the whole weekend. So, all right, I was satisfied with what we got done, must say. So, other than that, around here this weekend, one thing I saw yesterday that I didn't get on my notes, it's just been on my mind. Yesterday when we got home, we were sitting in the cabin here, and we hear this noise outside. It was a weird noise. It was like a flapping, not a fapping. So nobody was pleasuring themselves outside our camper, but it was like a slapping noise. Like, what the hell is that? Corey pokes her head over to the window and looks out, and she sees one pickup truck is towing another pickup truck. And the second pickup truck that's getting towed, is the back of it is just piled full of shit. Not manure, just crap, metal, scrap, junk, or she wasn't sure. She wasn't sure if somebody was moving or if they were heading to the dump, but they were going the wrong way for the dump. But as they're dragging this truck literally down the road, the back tires were both blown. And that was the flapping noise, was the flat tire flapping as they were pulling it. And so when we went to take the dogs for a walk a little later, we go out and we look in the street, and there was like a groove down the street, down that lane, where the rim was just scoring into the brand new pavement that was on there. And I'm like, man, we wonder why the roads in Tennessee are shitty. And this road was just done, was it this past year? maybe the year before. I mean, it's in decent shape still, but not when you just start running grooves down it by driving with no tires, dragging a truck with no rubber on it, full to capacity with weight in the back, and just scoring down the center of the lane. So we'll see how that goes. I'm guessing it's going to erode away pretty quickly and cause some potholes, cause some shitty pavement. So thanks, random citizen, for not making sure that you had tires on your vehicle that you were dragging. Anyway, I thought that was a bunch of bullshit when I saw that. Well, when Corey saw it, and then we saw what the damage that it did out there later. I do have a local story here that was on my list. The other night, so you guys, I talk quite a bit about the gas station here in town. I've done some work for them. I've sold them some stuff. I go there quite often. They own the cafe that was across the street here. They got harassed by our neighbors with all their yard art and things like that. Nice Indian brother and sister, and I think dad owns it. Brother and sister run it, I think. I'm not sure what the actual structure is there, but the brother and sister are there running it quite often, and I interact with them all the time. I see on Facebook, I don't know when it was, like Thursday or Friday, might have been Friday. I just see a post from, first I saw it shared in a local group, and I'm in like 3, I think, man, for a town of like 400 people, they have an awful lot of Facebook groups. It's because they're all divided and they all hate each other. It's like 2 or 3 groups of people. They all hate each other, so they all make up their own Facebook groups, and I'm in all of them because just looking for revenue opportunities, to see make sure I know what's going on in town if there's shit going on, and so I just I keep an eye on those. I saw in one of the groups they had shared the owners or the employees post about a potential break-in, and it had security photos with it, and I was like, oh, I'll take a look at these. And so it looked like it was about 1 a.m. from the security footage, and there were still shots of 3 guys standing outside the store, and I was like, okay, and I was reading the post, and it said these guys tried to break into the store. If anybody has an idea who they are or recognizes them, let us know. And I was like, okay. And so I'm looking at the first picture. They got the gaiters on. I don't know, the full head, the thing that you wear in the winter. It goes over your head and then comes up over your face, and you can just see your eyes. I think it's called a gaiter. I think, I don't know, but they all had those on, and they had very distinctive jackets on. And I was like, well, man, if hypothetical world here, if I was going to go rob something, security cameras or not, I probably wouldn't be wearing my most distinctive, unique pieces of clothing that I could find. But anyway, this one kid had this one guy. It turns out they were kids. Spoiler alert. Balaclava. Thanks, Hunter. It wasn't a ski mask. It was they're usually made out of like the nylon material, and they're like super tight. You see the NFL players wear them under their helmets and shit. I don't know, but anyway, they all had them on, trying to disguise themselves. Just the tube, yeah. It's just like you can like pull it down under your chin. And then it's like a hood, a tight hood that goes under your chin, but you can pull it up over your up over your face. I was pretty sure it was a gaiter. So I'm looking at these pictures. The first picture shows like these 3. They looked young to me. Corey asked me. I was like, yeah, they're probably in their 20s. First picture, 3 guys standing there. I think they were out back by the air conditioner. I don't know what they thought they were going to do. I look at the second picture, and one dude's got a fucking rifle with him, like an AR. It looked like a built-out AR rifle with him, and I'm like, wait, they brought a rifle to fucking rob the gas station? in the middle of the night? What the fuck? What is going on in this little tiny town? I was like, holy shit. And so I look at the other picture. I was like, man, they look young. They look young for sure. And so I thought it was just gonna kind of go away. You know, it didn't sound like they had gotten into the place. It didn't sound like they took anything. It was kind of a, if you know who is trying to get in, we want to talk to them, blah, blah, blah. Well, a little later that day, I look and it is in every of the local Facebook groups, which wasn't surprising. Like one person saw it, and it's local. It's a small community, so everybody's trying to figure out what's going on. And so they started posting it in all the town groups, and then I started seeing it in all the regional groups, like the towns surrounding us that I'm in those groups, and the counties surrounding us, and all of a sudden I'm seeing these pictures everywhere, and I'm like, holy shit. They really want to catch these guys. Good morning, Canadian Farmstead. Thanks for stopping in. And so I'm like following the story. Now I'm kind of interested. And I was going to stop in there and say, stick them up. But and Corey said that probably wasn't a good idea. And it could have get me in trouble. But anyway, I keep following the story and reading the comments. And the comments section were just fantastic. I mean, scary, but fantastic nonetheless. People were like, anybody see anything suspicious? And one person's like, well, I saw a Mustang driving down the street. And another guy's like, well, that's me. I'm coming home from door dashing. And they're having these huge arguments in the comments. And it just makes me laugh. Every time these people get going at each other in these comments, it just makes me laugh. But anyway, wasn't a day, maybe 2 days later, I see a forwarded post, a shared post in the group from the county sheriff that said all 3 suspects have been apprehended, and we aren't able to release the name because they were all minors. And I was like, wow, hanging out trying to break into gas stations with a rifle, kids, not good. This is not good. I wonder, it made me think a little bit, like when we were kids, we got into trouble, and I had friends that got into more trouble than I did. And by any means, I was far from a saint. We never took a rifle to do anything with us. We weren't like, I want to know what the thought process was of these 3 dipshits when they're going to a gas station to break in the middle of the night, and they're bringing a rifle. And this isn't a 24-hour gas station. The gas station closes like 8 o'clock at night, 7:30 or something like that. So they weren't going to stick it up. They weren't going to have to deal, hopefully, with an employee. But when you decide to carry a rifle with you to break into someplace, there's only a couple of ways that goes down. Either you don't see anybody and you just get away, and then get apprehended by the sheriff later because you're an idiot and wore your most distinctive fucking jacket with you. But if you're carrying a gun and somebody comes along, you're either going to get your ass shot or you're going to shoot somebody. And I think that goes really sideways. Like, this gas station doesn't have a ton of money in it. Maybe a decent little score, who knows? But these kids were like, they were under 18, obviously. If the cops were publishing their names, they're minors. I think that means they're under 18. I think. I don't even know anymore. Is that the age that they're not allowed to say their names? But I was concerned that they thought that bringing a rifle was an appropriate move. But I guess they're trying to break into a shitty little gas station in the middle of the night in a podunk town. They probably aren't thinking about the right things to do anyway. So that was kind of exciting in town. It was definitely a who-done-it, and the town rallied and posted it everywhere. Mike Soaps says they'll never take me alive. right? I got my 2 candy bars, my 6-pack of beer, my $48.21. They'll never take me alive. You'll never take me alive, copper. But it had one of my favorite themes in the comments of this post, the stories, was the ongoing drama of the police here in town. So we don't have a police officer in our town. I guess we did when I got here, and then with the new mayor, they got cut out, or maybe before the new mayor, the budget got cut. I don't know, but there isn't a fucking town cop here. Oh, I guess there is. I guess the new mayor instituted a volunteer part-time cop or something, which is great. I'm like, all right. So the sheriff is basically, the county sheriff is basically the law enforcement here. Whatever, it is what it is. But this was an outcry. This was the call in the Facebook groups for, we need a police. We need a police officer. We need a full-time police officer. And we got to cut down on this crime. And I really just couldn't figure out how the full-time police officer is probably going to be working during the day is going to deter these 3 idiots that are willing to bring a rifle to a gas station robbery. What's going to happen? So I don't know. Maybe they'll be getting a town cop here now that it is a hotbed of crime. But it's been fun. It was fun watching the whole thing, the whole thing play out. Some more fun I had was with my propane regulator. If you listened last week, you know that when we were unloading some lumber, I had a little accident, and a little freak accident, really, where some of the lumber slid off and landed on the collar that screws onto the propane tank for our generator. We run our generator off propane, and it cracked the collar. It broke the regulator. It was hissing propane. I had to close the propane tank, and yeah, it was a bummer. And so I don't know if I mentioned last week, but I looked up on Amazon replacement or on the internet. I didn't even see them on Facebook, but a replacement hose assembly. So that would come with the quick connect, the hose, the regulator, from Champion or Champion brand, or the Fit Champion aftermarket, whatever, was like $60. And I was like, holy shit. That doesn't seem right for those 3 pieces that are, a couple bucks a piece. I said, figure they could charge whatever they wanted, but $60, I was like, I was looking at it, and it was all components. Like the regulator, the hose was screwed into the regulator. The quick connect is screwed into the hose. I was like, well, I could just order a regulator and change the regulator. So off to Amazon I went, searching the model number on the regulator, and found one, ordered it, was waiting for it to come in. It showed up. And so I was getting ready. I was going to do a video on it. I was going to swap it out. I was going to get the generator going up again. This was when I was out doing the product videos I talked about earlier. And so I dig through my tools. I find a tool appropriate to get this taken apart, which was another fiasco. Needed a little tiny thin wrench, which luckily I did. I had one that I picked up along the way. But I take the regulator off the hose, the broken one. I grab the new regulator, and I go to put the hose in, and the fucking hole is about 3 times the size as the old one. And I just kind of looked at it, and I sighed, and I realized that I had never, on the listing, I assumed when I searched the part number that it was just standard, that the one side, which was correct, was the propane bottle attachment, the 20-pound, the little black collar that screws on and has the little thing that goes in, and that was correct. I assume that with the model number, the other side was correct. Now, it turns out that the model number was close. It was the proper regulator, two-stage regulator for changing the pressure appropriate for a generator. The regulator part was right, but the last number or the last couple numbers were different on the model number. I assume that is the size of the outlet hole of the regulator. So I was like, son of a bitch. I was like, fuck, really? This is going to be just a shit show. And so anyway, I was like, all right, well, whatever. I'll go to Lowe's. I have to go to Lowe's anyway to pick some stuff up tomorrow or the next day at this point. And so I'm just going to get a bushing. I was going to get a little brass bushing to convert the hole in the regulator to the size of the hose threads. And so I headed to Lowe's. Next day, I was picking up a bunch of stuff, and I get over into the fittings. All right, I get in the back of the truck, and I had brought the regulator in. Oh, check this out! I forgot. I was just going to return the regulator. I was going to order the right one. Do you know what Amazon? One of the things that Amazon restricts, and you cannot return propane regulators. I don't know. I guess if they figure if I used it, there might be propane in there and it's illegal to ship. They shipped it to me. No special packaging or anything. I didn't know that I couldn't return it. But when I went to return it at Amazon, it was, nope, this is not eligible for return, which kind of surprised me. That's why I ended up having to go to Lowe's to get the bushing. Otherwise, I would just return it for the right thing. But anyway, I go to Lowe's. I go to grab it out of the back of the truck. I was going to take it in to make sure I got the right size. And it was inside the cabin. It was inside the camper because I had taken it in to return it to Lowe's and I never put it back in the truck. So I was like, son of a bitch. I had the propane hose. I said, I'll just guess. I'll grab a couple if I have to. So I'm wandering around Lowe's. I'm getting all my stuff, and I head over to the plumbing, and I'm looking at the brass bushings. And I was like, "Well, is it a 3/4 to a half? Is it a half to a quarter? Is it a 5/8? Is it 3/8?" Well, I was like, "Fuck, I'm not sure." So I grabbed a couple that I thought was close enough. I had measured the holes with a tape measure and a little ChatGPT real quick, and I was like, okay, so if the rough opening is 3/4 of an inch, what is the bushing size? What is the thread size? And I was like, okay, well, I think I got this. I think I got it. And so I bought two just in case. I grabbed all the other stuff I needed. I went and did some stuff, and I got home, and I went to put it together, and man, I nailed it on the hose. both the bushings I got, I had the right size for the hose. Neither of the bushings I bought had the right size for the regulator. So I guessed both sides of it. One was too big and one was too small. So that is on hold. That has just been a shit show. I got to take those two bushings back and get the right one. And this time I will be taking the regulator and the hose in and opening the fucking bushings at Lowe's and rough fitting them right in the aisle before I buy the next one. So dropping a board and breaking the damn thing has just been a shit show from now on. There has been a shit show since then, but I'll get her taken care of. Hopefully this week. I gotta hit Lowe's for some other stuff. That's the one good thing is I'm always having to go there regardless. And we're anywhere, even if we're not going to Lowe's, we have to go to town to do laundry and get groceries and stuff. So Lowe's is right there. So it's not a huge deal, but just a pain in the ass having to replace things and return things and get the right size. It drives me nuts. But anyway, that's coming up this week. What else happened this week? Did anybody see anything else happen this week? Maybe something in Minnesota. Speaking of bringing in a rifle. Fuck. Man, if you've been online in the last, when did that happen? Like Tuesday? I don't know. At some point, if you didn't know, some protester got shot by an ICE officer, and immediately after it happened, everybody started talking about it. Was it okay that he shot her? Was it okay? Was he wrong? Was it self-defense? Was she trying to hit him with her car? Like, if you've been on social media at all, I'm sure you've probably seen a little bit of it or not. Corey, I'm guessing, has not seen any of it, but all she looks at is dog stuff. So I envy her, really, and in a lot of ways. I'll ask her, hey, did you see this or that? And she's like, nope, no idea what you're talking about. So it's good to be Corey, definitely. But anyway, it was kind of all over, and everybody's got their opinion. Whether this was okay, it's not okay. Somebody died. Let's be upfront about that. It's not fucking okay. There's no reason. Canadian Farmstead says, if you could sell, I'm guessing her, it says, if you could sell your logarithm, Corey would be rich. If you could sell Corey's feed, you could be rich. If you could bottle that up and sell, you only see dogs and animals and don't have to deal with any of the fucking just cesspool of social media. I would be a billionaire. Anybody know how to do that? Just let me know. I would be happy to share with the world how to just only see not cesspool bullshit. But first of all, it's not fucking okay somebody died. I don't care what side you're on. I don't care. And over this whole week, when I've interjected my opinion online, which it hasn't been that much, but I have taken the humor route because A, I didn't know the girl that died. B, I didn't know the officer that shot her. I didn't know anybody involved. I didn't know any of the people that ICE was there to get. I haven't known anybody that has been picked up by ICE or targeted by ICE. I have no skin in the game. So I do what I do best and make fun of shit. It is what it is. Like, get over yourselves. Unless you know anybody involved, just fucking stop being irritated. Stop being overreacting when somebody makes fun of shit. But anyway, it's not okay that somebody died. I don't care what side you're on, but I've been called left. I've been called a bootlicker. I've been called a fucking liberal over my opinions on this, which means, I think it means you're doing it right when you piss off both sides. But apparently, from the 18 videos we have, and slow motion analysis and all of this, these people are making their opinions, and amazingly, two different opinions are coming. I mean, multiple opinions are coming out, but the same video. People are watching these videos, seeing the exact same thing, and coming to different conclusions. That should, first of all, tell you that it was a judgment call. And second, I put it in the Telegram group kind of right after it happened. I've stopped determining my opinion on whether a shooting is justified, if a shooting is okay. I did put in a caveat in there. You know, if somebody's running away from the cops down the street and the cop plugs them in the back, yeah, that's probably not right. Or if somebody's sitting in their car with their hands on their steering wheel and a cop plugs them in the head, probably not justified. But I've stopped trying to determine whether this stuff was legit or not, Whether he should have had the right to shoot her, whether it was self, I don't know, because you know what, and you know what, nobody can factor in what was going on at the moment. You weren't standing in front of that vehicle. You weren't looking into her eyes. You weren't standing there in danger. You weren't on that street that's slippery. You didn't hear the engine rev. Weren't participating. You weren't agitated by the person that was there. You don't know. You don't know. And whether she intended to hit him or not doesn't matter in that moment. The guy with the gun, what he was feeling, what was going through his head, that's all that matters. Because guess what? He shot her. So either he had a reason in his head, or he was being malicious, or he was the devil, or whatever the reason. I can't judge that. I also can't judge what she was thinking in the driver's seat. The more that comes out, it appears that they were there doing exactly what happened, agitating, irritating, being in the way. I mean, people say it's their right to protest. I think our right to protest is not what they were doing. But regardless, Minneapolis, then it happened. So here we go. It happened. It was an incident. One person died. One person shot another person, and they died. One person was a law enforcement officer of one make or another, and it should be. That should be what it is. Wilder, like Hunter says, it's not a clean shoot in his opinion. It could go either way. Hunter thinks the cop might have been a little aggressive. Wilder Life says humans being human, and both sides. It's so hard to say. There is the factor of, guess what? You weren't in his shoes. Turns out the guy had been hit before and dragged and almost and seriously injured or almost died. I don't know. Depends on who you talk to. The video of her wife, which this is their whole situation was something else. Oh, that was my favorite. My favorite thing of the whole aftermath was when I posted a lesbian, a joke about lesbians. I love lesbians. It was just a meme. And it really, unfortunately, could have been from a lot of. It probably could have been from a lot of issues. It had something to do with protesters in Minneapolis forced to scissor in their Subarus to stay warm when sub-freezing temperatures move in, or some shit. It was fairly funny, let's say. It wasn't hilarious. It wasn't the funniest thing I'd ever seen, but it was humor. It was based on the fact that a lot of protesters in Minneapolis currently are lesbians, and lesbians scissor. If you don't know what that is, just think about two scissors going together. And the fact that it was going to get cold, and that a stereotype for lesbians is they drive Subarus. Okay, we add all that up, and it was a meme. I posted that and got called a bootlicker because I was offended by lesbianism or something like that. It made me a bootlicker supporting the cops because I was making fun of lesbian scissoring when it got cold. I guess. I don't know. But anyway. Canadian Farmstead. This is scissoring. Hunter says the cops should probably stop standing in front of cars. That would be probably if if this guy needed some continuing education or a training plan at work, if he needed a individual training plan, individual development plan, or whatever you call it, when you get singled out of work because you just keep doing the same stupid shit over again, I would think that the first thing on the top of the list would be, dude, you got to stop standing in front of cars. That would probably be good idea. Canadian Pharmacist says you've seen all their films. I mean, how do you think I ended up doing the scissoring meme? I don't know. It sounded like the one that died, she was married to a dude not too long ago, and he died. Interesting. Was he hit by a car? Mike Somsa says, I know nothing about it, but I did see where her wife blamed herself for pushing her to be there and stir it up. Yeah, I mean, they were agitators. They were agitators. It doesn't mean that she deserved to die. I mean, but you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. I think we've gotten into a point in the society where politicians talk a lot of inflammatory bullshit, and that trickles down to protest leaders and riles people up, and they think that it's okay. They think there's no consequences, that they have the right to stop something going on, that's protesting. And I think it might have all started with the whole blocking the highway bullshit and nothing happening for it. And they're like, oh, well, we can do this and there's no consequences. Well, it looks like there was consequences, I guess, this time. Hunter says that's not boot clicking. Kids and their new definitions. I mean, in a Subaru full of lesbian scissoring, I don't think it's the boots that are getting licked. Hunter says there's collars and leashes. It's a whole thing. And usually a riding crop. Is that when the bootlicking happens, Hunter? Canadian Farm says it's crazy to me how much political ideology overrides empathy now. Right? It's amazing to me that, like, as much of a anti-police, anti-authoritarian, anarchist, believe in the nap, as much of that as I hold in my heart, I would never fathom to think that I would pull my car in front of federal law enforcement people in the middle of them doing a job, which is what they're doing. They're told to go do this. They're going to go do that. They're going to do it in the way they're trained, hopefully, whether you believe the training's right or not. This is a task given to them by their employer, who is telling them to go do this. I would never think that it would be okay to impede them. If I didn't like what they were doing, I suppose I could go watch, record it, to see if they're doing it properly, to protest alongside it. But I don't think that impeding them is something that I would ever consider. And if I did, I wouldn't be surprised if there was resistance by them. That if I was blocking them, that I would be dragged out of a car, put in handcuffs, and taken away. Like, I would expect that. And in that situation, if I was told to get out of my vehicle, I would be prepared to listen, and I wouldn't try to drive away. As much as I don't agree with with cops and how they act, I understand that they'll plug me in the fucking head if I don't listen to them. And I don't think that this woman understood that. The look on her face in the videos I saw as the cops were screaming at her and telling her to get the fuck out of the car and doing what, the look on her face was like she didn't realize that it was real, that it was all just maybe they were Nerf guns or something. There was no recognition of the danger around her at the moment, not even after she was dead, but leading up to it. You're in a dangerous situation you put yourself into. And she was just oblivious to it all from the look on her face. Now, I don't know. I wasn't in her head. Like I said at the beginning of this, I don't know. And I don't know if it was right or wrong. But, man, it was all tragic and all. But then immediately you have the mayor of Minneapolis, you have the governor of Minneapolis, or the governor of Minnesota, just instigating shit, inflammatory language, firing up the troops. This was like, this is what they needed. This is what they wanted. They want ICE out of Minneapolis. So we're going to fire up the people. And man, no tragedy can go to waste. Let's fire them up about this woman being shot, and we'll rally the troops. And then when they get called on it, when they get called on the inflammatory speech, they go, well, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. And it's happened over and over and over. This isn't a new playbook for Minnesota. This isn't a new playbook for Jacob Fry in Minneapolis. This isn't a new playbook for Tim Walz as governor. Look back to the George Floyd riots. Look back to all the shit that's happened in Minneapolis over the last, I don't know how long Walz and Fry have been in there, but at least the last 5 to 6 years. That's not okay. As tragic as this was, as unavoidable as it could have been, I think the powers to be have a lot to do with it. Both the attitude that she had, thinking that this was okay for her to do what she was doing, and like she wasn't peacefully protesting. So get all pissed off at me if you want. She has the right to protest. She has the right to protest. She doesn't have the right to block people doing their job without consequences. Now, should the consequences have been her being shot? Probably not, but it happened. Why jump on and fan the flames? And we'll see what happens. But it looks like there's riots or protests or whatever the fuck you want to call them, all over the country now. I've seen them pop up pretty slowly. Looks like there was a protest going on in LA yesterday that somebody decided to take a U-Haul and drive into. This isn't calming down anytime soon. I don't think it's going to explode like the George Floyd stuff did and unravel as quickly, but you never know. I didn't really follow up this morning or last night about the U-Haul stuff, but that probably isn't good. That probably is going to fan the flames a little further. And as long as ICE is rounding people up, which I don't see any stop to that anytime soon, I think this is going to continue to escalate. Other life says, I'll be over here painting, gardening, and loving my little corner of the world. Yeah, I got back on Nostr this week, guys, and I've been teetering on only posting on the oh yeah. Canadian Farmstead corrects me, and it may be Canadian Farmstead says wasn't the U-Haul one at the Iran protest. I can't keep the protest straight, guys. I'm sorry. And which which people are protesting the Iran thing? Is that the same people protesting the ICE thing? Like, I can't keep my protest straight. Who's protesting what and why? When? Oh, guys, I gotta get the fuck off and not see this shit anymore because it just drives me fucking crazy. The world's a dumpster fire. Canadian Farm says Iran is having a revolution. I saw that Iran is having a revolution, that the Orange Man wants to go help them, because that's going to turn out the way that we think, right? That's a good idea. Fuck. I guess we'll be talking about that next week. Anyway, it's been an hour. I can't even wrap my thoughts around the whole Minnesota thing, just because there's so much bullshit and just so many people that it would matter. Like, somebody could have literally executed somebody in the middle of the street, like dragged them out of the car, put them on their knees, and shot them in the back of the head. And half the people would say it was justified, and half the people would say it wasn't. Or a criminal could probably take a gun, or a protester could probably take a gun, load a cop full of lead, and his partner takes a couple bullets and then shoots the guy, and half the people would see the video and say, "Oh, that was justified," and half the people would say, "I can't believe they shot him." That's what our world has come to. Love it. Time to dip. Time to head out into the woods, and man, that's the plan. Let's get this cabin built. Let's get in the woods, and we'll see where it goes from there. But anyway, guys, stay safe out there. Don't get into the middle of any fucking riots or protests or shit like that. Just stay away from it. Don't let it stress you out too much. Have fun with it. Post lesbian scissor beams. Get yelled at by both sides. Guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Like I said, if you want to get into that Bitcoin guessing game, you can head on over to the Telegram chat at t.me/lotschat. That's t.me/lotschat. If you head over to the website at thelotsproject.com, you can find Amazon link there. If you're going to be doing some shopping on Amazon, it's one extra stop to head on over to thelotsproject.com. Start there, click on the link, and helps me earn a little bit of money, helps me pay for the show and all the services and stuff that go with it. So if you could do that, I would definitely appreciate that. Check out the YouTube channel, check out the new videos, click on those affiliate links, and yeah, that's how I pay for the show. So you can help me out. If you're going to be buying the stuff anyway, I appreciate it if you use my links, and I get a little kickback at no additional cost to you. Beyond that, I'm going to be working on the cabin a little bit this week, and I don't know what else. Head on over to the Telegram group. You can get day-to-day updates. You can have an awesome conversation with a bunch of great people, and it's a fun time. Definitely a fun time. So have a great week, guys, and we will catch up with you again next Monday.